Three, I'd like to welcome you to BeMoreNews.com, the news before the news, where we uncover the truth. That's your grandma?
That's my mother.
Your mom?
That's their wedding day, my father and my mother.
He was a sharp, handsome
They got
dude.
married February 1st, 1941.
What's your name?
Eleanor Peters Matthews.
And where are we?
You're at my house. It's an original house. It was built in 1915, and this is a house in which I grew up. And as you can see, if you look up, you see the beams where the various rooms were. But I had it renovated when I came back here to live.
What a beautiful
My mother
home.
wanted us to take the house. My brother took it, and then he passed away the next year, so I took the house. So at any rate, and I've been here. My husband, I remarried, and my husband and I lived here. He wanted to buy another house. I said, oh no, I work right down the street, because I was at Western High School for 29 years.
Well, thank you for your service. You were a teacher there?
I was a department head of a department.
Oh my, what department?
At foreign languages, and I was an assistant principal, and then I was principal before I retired.
I'm almost embarrassed. Parlez-vous français?
Oui, je le parle.
Tu hablas español?
Un poco.
Sie sprechen Sie Deutsch?
Si.
Assalamu alaikum, shalom, salam.
Salim shalakum salim.
And we must put a plug in for your sorority,
Delta Sigma Theta sorority.
as noted by the collection.
Baltimore Alumni Chapter.
All
And I was
right.
president of that from 2010.
See, I told you were the president of something.
From 2010 until 2014.
Wow. What do you think of the situation of
I
the
think it's awful.
road?
I think it's awful. I grew up in Baltimore. I grew up right here in this house. And because of segregation, my mother wouldn't let us go to the 3-room schoolhouse down the street. She wanted us, because she had gone to one in Texas. So she insisted that we go to Henry Highland Garnett on Division Street, number 103. I had to take 2 buses. I took the bus at the water tower. The bus went around the water tower. That's that horseshoe. We got on at one side of the water tower and got off on the other side every day from 5 years old. I went in town to school until I finished 9th grade at Booker T, and then I went to Eastern High School.
You had to go from here
Yes.
all the way over to Division Street
That
where
took-
Thurgood Marshall lived
He went to 103 also.
because there was no school you could go. That was segregation, or
It was segregated. It was a 3-room schoolhouse for blacks. We couldn't go to Roland Park. Come on now. We had to go.
so
my
where
mother,
were you when Poly became integrated?
I was working at. I wasn't either.
It was
in school.
54, around 54.
Oh, where was I? In 54, I was in junior high school. Yeah, I was in junior high school.
And then after blacks integrated Poly,
No, I was in 5th grade in 54 when schools integrated. I was in 5th grade. I was still at 103, Henry Highland Garnett, where you said the gentleman went, and he did. And where was I when? Poly integrated. I remember Poly integrated mainly because I think a girl wanted to take engineering. And they opened it up to blacks then, rather than
And then
having
women-
controversy.
I understand that some of the black men protested so that they would allow women not long after.
Maybe so. I don't recall all of that. But when I went to Eastern, it was all girls. Western was all girls. Those were the 2 girls' schools, one on the east side for white girls and one on the west side. They were both opened in 1844. Eastern opened 1 week after Western High School. And City was for all boys, and Poly was for all boys.
So
I'm looking at Kiana showing her Western Girls Rock shirt.
Okay,
She's a graduate of Western. It's amazing. I went to Eastern and I was principal at Western.
well, this is what I want to ask you. You grew up here in
Yes.
Hose Heights.
Yes,
To the north is Roland Park, to the south is Hampden.
yes.
You grew up here. You went to school all the way over in Upton,
Yes,
only to come back here
every day.
and to ultimately become principal at Western.
But Western was down the street when I became principal. Western was on Center Street when I was in
Oh,
school. You know, Western moved from
silly
well,
me.
you know, yeah, still very silly you because where Douglas High School is was where Western was. Our signs that we have in our library at Western High School were hanging in Douglas High School because that was Western, but they had to get out of the black community very quickly, and they moved to Center Street,
Western was where?
where
On
Doug,
Calhoun
where
Baker Stricker?
on Gwynns Falls
Oh,
Parkway.
Gwynns Falls. The new Douglas. Okay.
Oh, that's the new Douglas. Okay,
Yeah.
yes, that's true. You're right.
Okay. Okay. Wow. That would Western was across the street from Mondawmin?
Western was across the street from Mondawmin, but they got it out of there quick and in a hurry.
Because that neighborhood
It was black.
integrated. It became black.
Well,
But it started, Western was able to be there because it was a predominantly white neighborhood. And then it became a predominantly black neighborhood, and Western moved.
Right, and they got out of there quick and in a hurry when Western moved to Center Street, the little school. And that's the main reason I didn't go to Western. I didn't want to go downtown to that little teeny place. We had our own auditorium, our own swimming pool at Eastern High School. So that's why I went there.
Your hair is immaculate, by the way.
Oh, well, thank you, sir, by the way.
It's a lost art form, it seems, in 2022. I wanted to ask you, when it comes to the history, you don't see, it's spectacular. We don't see that often anymore.
What is it about my hair that's so spectacular?
Natural hairdo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay. So the history, when I think about all of these changes that you've seen in terms of integration, segregation, education, integrated schools, how does it feel in 2022 to have a discussion about what happened in 1910?
Well, it shouldn't be. We shouldn't be talking about segregation.
You've seen a black
now.
president.
I know, absolutely. Absolutely. But it seems as though there are some people up in Roland Park because of that. I don't know if it's because of the covenant that they had, but they had a covenant up there. I'm sure the ladies have already told you.
Oh, the
all
covenant
about
that said that
black people couldn't,
yeah.
We couldn't even buy a blade of grass up there. But in the 80s, the beginning of the 80s, whites started moving in here. We didn't have a covenant. And houses then were like $30,000 and low $40,000. So naturally, people just started buying up these properties around in here. So I don't know what the percentage is now. I'd have to go around and knock on every door to find out.
I'm going to ask you a brutally transparent question.
Yes, sir.
Why did blacks not do the same thing to whites that
We
whites were
couldn't
doing
do
to
that.
blacks?
You know, we couldn't have done that.
Because of institutional racism?
Institutional racism. The city would not have let
Would
us
you
do that.
do that?
I would have done it, yes. Excuse me, Jennifer, but I would have done it because of what goes on up in Roland Park. They have those great big homes that they can't afford to heat.
They are cold. They live in big houses and they are cold.
I know they're very cold. I was on the Rotterdam Sister Cities Committee, and we had Christmas activities up there.
You didn't want to go.
Of course I went. I was the
You didn't
chair of
want
the
to?
education department. Yes, I had to go. So I wanted to go just to be nosy and
Oh.
nothing else. Yes.
But you got in and you got cold.
Yeah, but no. The people talk about they talk about themselves, how big the properties are and the windows that are still there and how costly it is to heat their homes. Costly to heat mine.
So
I
see,
know
they're
how
not
much
really
it is.
racist. They're cold.
Maybe so, Donnie. But no, they're both. Not all of them. No, not all of them. I'm not going to make a general statement like that.
Edmund Burke said that the only thing necessary for the triumph of evil is for good men, and we can say women too, to do nothing.
Well, that's true. Well, we did nothing in terms of keeping whites out of our neighborhood. But,
I don't think that's really what you would want to do. I mean,
I want to say we wanted to do that, but you know, our properties and what have you, I don't know. It's just something about growing up in this neighborhood. And now we have like Kitsy next door. She and I are very friendly with one another. And
she's
you probably
a white
met
lady?
her. Yes, and she's white. She lived in Roland Park. She grew up in Roland Park. And she lives next door to me now. She and her husband were two of the first people to buy, two of the first whites to buy into this community. But as people
that says a lot about her character.
What does it say?
She don't mind living next to anybody.
No, Kitsy is very friendly. She's on our committee. She's one of the members on our committee.
I'm reminded, as we were talking earlier, I was reminded of John Brown and the work he did to help end slavery, gave his life fighting to end slavery.
Yes.
It takes good people.
Yes, no matter what color they are.
Yeah, because there's some black people I want to push in the harbor.
Comprendo.
We want to live next door to good neighbors.
Right. People who take care of their property.
Yes.
For example, we have a neighbor who, well, unfortunately, she was found dead in her home. And she had a very, very nice piece of property. She kept the outside beautiful. And now the weeds grow all up the pole that's right in front of her house. The pole doesn't necessarily belong to her, but when she lived there, that was not the case. And now when I come home, I have to see that pole.
What do we do to save Baltimore? I'm sure you see the news.
Yes, I do see the news, and it's so much killing, and some of it is just random.
Girls, we've never seen female murder victims like we see nowadays.
I know. Female murder victims. I mean, it's just
female killers.
Everybody, killers. Everybody.
Child killers.
I don't know, but you know, when Brandon was running for mayor, he swore he was going to be able to stop it, but it's not one person who can do this. And a poor police commissioner, I feel badly for him because
he took the job. He makes a pretty penny to handle all of this abuse.
I know, but his wife is my soror, and I know them personally. But he's a commissioner. But the thing is, still, he can't do it by himself. The police can't do it.
And I imagine
you pull out a gun and shoot us. Where are the police? No police in this house. Are they here?
No.
So you could pull out a gun right now, and all four of us could be dead. Right? So what could they do?
Then we must be really slow because I'm trying to get a body. We ain't catching them. Yeah.
And come in and clean up.
Somebody getting out of here. Okay, so what's the message? What's the message to the world that we want them to know, in your words, about Hose Heights and the challenge that you're currently facing, thanks to Roland Park, Foundation, and Councilwoman Odette Ramos?
Well, my final word is that we can coexist. They can have their park because there's a lot of green space around there, as you have already seen. And then there's a road that has been around there since the early 1900s.
That's just mean for someone to close that road.
Yes.
And someone who doesn't live near the road closed it.
Right, and it doesn't affect them. But it affects us, especially us on Dewey Avenue and Providence Street. It really affects us. In fact, one day when they were putting all these pipes in this summer, I went out. Every place I went, I had to turn around and go back another way to figure out how to get out. Had the water tower been open, I wouldn't have had a problem.
And you've been a principal and educator in Baltimore City Public Schools, and this is how we treat a person like you. It's shameful.
Yes, but not just me. They're just cheating people, period. It's not about me because I was a principal. It's about everyone.
No, there's a special place in hell when you mess with a principal. Especially in Baltimore City Public Schools. I'm going to pray for them.
Well, Kiana was a principal also.
I know.
Oh, okay.
We got her story.
We got her story, okay. But that's the main thing. You know, Odette should not take sides in this. Odette, we don't need her to do another survey. We have a survey with names, addresses, and everything, and how people voted. So why does she need to come and show pictures of a pretty space and not say, just say, are you for the road to be open or are you for it closed? So we don't need her survey. But what we do need is for the road to stay open so we can access our homes and exit from our homes without fear, without any problems. I am so tired of going up to Roland, up to Roland Avenue to have to cross 2 lanes of traffic on Cold Spring Lane to get to the left turn lane to get to the light, to go up Roland Avenue to the bank or to Eddie's to get some goodies or whatever. Okay, so that's mainly it. Let the road stay open and recognize our history.
Keep watching BeMoreNews.com, the news before the news, where we uncover the truth.